Everybody, how we got our name?
Hold on.
Sit up, bro. First down.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of In the Lounge with JG and Brofiki. My co-host Brofiki is out with COVID right now, but we're going to run the show without him. I'm sure he might tune in on the comments later on. Who knows? With me today, I've got three members from the band Chernobyl, The Secret. How we doing, guys? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, dudes? My name's Cody, and I do background vocals and play bass.
Okay.
I am Johnny. I'm the newest member. I'm the new drummer for Chernobyl The Secret.
Okay.
He's also the ideas guy. What's up, guys? I'm Hunter. I sing and play guitar.
Right on, guys. Welcome to the show tonight. I appreciate you coming on. Sorry we've had to reschedule once before. So, I actually found you guys on social media just from your clips, honestly, and I am curious if that's been one of the biggest help for you guys as far as a band, kind of starting out. Well, you've been around since 2013, but kind of getting growth. Has social media been huge for you guys?
I'd say so. We've definitely had to roll with the tide and kind of keep up with all the new platforms over the years, things like that, and have noticed that if you're not using the current, whether you're using it personally, if you're not using those platforms, you're behind. So we're trying to stay as up to date as possible.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely helped us for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's helped us kind of stay relevant to like during times that we're sort of in hiatus mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Johnny kind of mentioned that you guys all kind of play a role in all the social media accounts.
Sure do.
Yep.
So, Chernobyl, The Secret. What's the story behind the name? I'm curious, and whose idea was it?
The name was already established when I joined the band, and I'm currently the longest remaining member. It was already an established band I mean, they've been playing some shows for a year or two just in the Austin area when I joined the band. At that point, there was only one or two people in the band when I came around, and it kind of went through some mutual friends. Somebody that I worked with, our original vocalist, Carlisle, he found somebody on the internet, which was Brittany, who was the most OG member of the band. And all of her bandmates had kind of quit on her at the time. So she was like looking to find some musicians. They got to jam in and then said, oh, my buddy Cody plays guitar. And I played guitar back at that time. So I joined jamming with them. And I brought on our buddy Cole as a drummer. And then a mutual friend of Cole and I's is Hunter, who joined the band a year or two later, I would say, after he graduated college. And then we've just kind of been jamming ever since then. The name, from what I understand, is kind of resembles our music in a way. So Chernobyl was obviously a disaster that happened in the Ukraine, Russia territories back in the day, and that's a very heavy, dark side of things, which our music goes that way at times. And then A Secret is kind of something beautiful between maybe two or three people, or even just to yourself. And so it's kind of the contrast between those two, and that kind of sums up our music a bit. I don't know if anyone else wants to add to that, but
Nailed it.
yeah, so it's kind of just a name that stuck around. And there's been chances to rebrand and redo all these things, but it's kind of just something that's stuck, and people seem to like it, so we just kept the train rolling.
It works, and I mean, when you explain it the way you did, I get it. I mean, because you got quite a few songs out there, and you can go from something super heavy, it was vocals screaming through the whole thing, some guttural screams, everything. Then you got some songs where it's a little softer, so you guys definitely have that balance. So I do get what you're saying as far as the name, and somebody who has listened to you guys would understand that too. So.
Yeah, it's kind of that juxtaposition between the two.
Yeah.
I'm also
I didn't
gonna
notice you
add
guys have. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm also gonna add if Cody says like story time stuff about the band, this is all gonna be news to me as well because I'm the newest member. I'm about 6 months in ish or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to add on top of that, like I'm also gonna be learning a little bit about the backstory of the band and like old members that Carlisle never heard, just things like that. So
Yeah, we haven't sat him down in a room with the old school projector yet and been like, so this was
Yeah.
us,
No, that's
years ago.
Yeah. Dirty Dog and Lucky Lounge.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we grinded our
so.
way.
Have you not had the opportunity to be a part of any of the music videos or anything?
I'm a part of the newest music video, which is Disaster Piece, the newest single that we pushed out. And ideally, I'll be a part of all the new stuff that we're doing with all the promos and everything too. Kind of establish myself with the band now, and having some creative say in things here and there. So, yeah, some like 6 months in, and like I said, as far as like backstory of most of the band, I'm not going to have a lot of information on that end.
Yeah, but he's stuck with us now.
Well,
so.
that's. Yep. Well, I mean, it sounds like it's all kind of been just a circle of friends too, or like somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So, I mean, in a way, it helps because you have that. I don't want to say comfort, but like you have friends that are willing to help you get established.
For sure.
Definitely, yeah. We've had a core group together for quite some time, but over the last 2 to 3 years, we've had quite a few member changes here and there. But I think we're in a good place now. We got a good core. We're all great friends outside of the band. It's not all business. We do take things serious when they do need to be taken seriously, but we also keep it light and have fun. But I think that's what keeps us together is we're really good friends outside of it, and we're not we're friendly enough, and we all share the same goals, so we hold each other accountable when we need to.
Right.
But we also like to shoot the shit and have a good time and make fun of each other. So we're just one big family, and it's been working out great.
That's what you got to have, man. Especially when you're a larger band like you guys. I mean, I've had rappers on and people who are just solo artists, and I've had bands who are like Earth Groans is a metal band I had on, and he did all the work and he just hired people on when he toured. And
Yep.
at least you guys don't have to do that. That's got to be kind of nice.
Yeah. Shout out Earth Grounds. They're the homies.
Yeah, those are the.
Oh, you know Earth Groans, all right.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. We played a show or two with them a couple years ago when we played with Bury Your Dead when they did a little Texas run.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. I had him on
Definitely.
towards the beginning of me podcasting too, so definitely shout out to them. So being a band that's kind of switched members so much, has it been a struggle as far as keeping the music the way that you want it to be? Because I feel like the balance through all the songs hasn't really changed dramatically. Like it's not noticeably different because a band member changed.
Other than our first EP that we put out, our self-titled one, Hunter and myself have been mainly the primary songwriters as far as at least the instrumentals go. Other than the last couple songs, our last drummer, Dean, was a very good songwriter, and he would do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but he also tried to stay in the same vein and not make it too different, but without still putting his touch on it. But at the end of the day, it's a collaborative effort, and Hunter and I have kind of been there the whole way. So I think our style kind of rubs off on the music a lot. So it's kind of stayed the same, but we've also tried to evolve a bit and change our sound. If you listen to our first album, it's very cookie cutter 2012 metalcore style, and now we're a little bit more modern, a little bit wider range of audience, I think, now. But one thing that's stayed is we've always just made music that we enjoy. We not going to please everybody, and we know that. So we just try to make music that we want to listen to, that we enjoy, and hopefully it translates well.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I do want to kind of get a little bit of a backstory on all you guys, because I'm sure you guys didn't grow up with your parents listening to people screaming into a speaker. So what's kind of like the music you guys grew up listening to?
For me, my dad was in bands. He played classic rock, cover
Right.
bands, you know, my whole life. So a lot of classic rock growing up. And then when I probably in like my teenage years, more pop punk, rap, big on like Blink 182, Green Day, things of that nature. And then probably about my freshman year of high school is when I got introduced to heavier music. And nowadays these bands wouldn't even really be considered too heavy, but bands like
Right.
Atreyu and they're escaping me at this point though, but more like post-hardcore. But then kind of slowly getting into like Kill Switch Engage and August Burns Red and Devil Wears Prada, things of that nature, and then it's kind of just gotten heavier and heavier since then. But yeah, that's kind of my musical background there.
All right. How about you, Johnny? You've been the quietest of all of them. How about you go next?
My musical background, I grew up with a single mom until I was about like 15, and then she married a Haitian guy. But my mom was a huge metalhead, like
Wow.
fucking huge metalhead. Got me into like Cannibal Corpse super duper early. Got me into like shitty Christian metalcore music like Zayo and Bot and all this other stuff. And
Right.
it was really, really cool to have that. And then kind of grew up with all that stuff. And she had boyfriends that were in like shady metal bands when I was a kid. And I was like the 8-year-old with like the big overhead cuffed like ear protection at metal shows and stuff. And then she married my stepdad, and he's this like cool Chicago Haitian guy. So he taught me a lot of like hip hop, like Jay-Z and Nas, all that Northeast rap, hip hop kind of style influence and stuff that he grew up with. And so that's been my musical background. I recently have been really deep diving into soul music and R&B stuff, and that's been the best thing that ever happened to me. Like getting into like Usher and Duran Jones, The Indications and stuff like that recently has been super duper cool to me, because it's just at the end of the day, like I'm in a metal band and I don't want to burn myself out in metal.
Right.
And so I do study and practice a lot on drums, but probably like 40% running through the sets and listening to metal and kind of getting my chops right where I want them. And the other 60% it's like K-pop or soul or, R&B or hip hop. So I kind of branch out quite a bit when I get to practicing.
All right. I like that, man. That's it. That's a first where I've had somebody say my parent was a metalhead.
Oh yeah, dude. She was hardcore with all that stuff, dude.
Might be a
That's
first
awesome.
discovering Usher in 2023 also.
Yeah.
right. I'm guessing you do look like you're pretty young, so I mean,
I'm gonna close at 30. I have the baby face.
yeah, I was gonna go with like 21, 22.
Damn.
All right, well, Hunter, man, what do you got, man? Well, let's hear your story, man.
Man, I grew up listening to all kinds of shit. My dad was really big into like female artists, so like Mary J. Blige, Shania Twain. My mom's big on the 80s. She was like a huge 80s kid, even though she was born in the 60s. That was just her generation. I remember bumping Coolio Gangster's Paradise rolling up to preschool when I was like 4 or 5 in my dad's Camaro, so that was tight. And then man, got into kind of like System of a Down and Deftones and Sublime and shit. And then I think it was like my 7th grade year, my friend Chase was like, dude, let's go to the mall. I got to get this CD. And I was like, okay, whatever. And we get back in the car and he bought the Frail Words Collapse As I Lay Dying. I had never heard music like that, and I was instantly hooked, dude. So like
Right on.
immediately was just into all of it, Slipknot, fucking Pantera, just everything from every walk of like metal genre or subgenre. So but I'm also at the point now where like I don't really listen to metal anymore. I'm like big on 90s country and big on R&B. I've been karaokeing Usher since Johnny was a little boy, and so I like that kind of shit.
It's funny that you guys mentioned hip hop and rap, because lately I kind of ventured into British rap.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Grind. shit.
Yeah, man, it's funny because you hear the lyrics, and maybe because I'm a metalhead too, so even if I don't understand the lyrics as much, it's they're what they talk about is totally different than what us American, like a lot of American rappers talk about,
Definitely.
and it still has that like 80s 90s hip hop vibe to it even today. So I've been really big in like British rap lately.
I truly
Yeah, so
believe that like the 90s and early 2000s was just some of the better like hip hop and just that kind of feel of
Mhm.
like
just
music just
music in
being like
general.
real and authentic. And
Yeah.
I don't care too much for shit that comes out these days, so that's why I kind of like live back in that time.
Right. Yeah. And eventually it's gonna fade, unfortunately. I mean,
Um,
it's just the way the world is. But
I
yeah.
think it's honestly making a huge comeback, brother. Because like I'll go thrifting or do something like here around town, and we're in a college town in Austin, and so the college kids around me, dude, they dress like Britney Spears did in the early 2000s and Aaliyah, and you'll just see like the college kids doing that. Hardcore is making a huge comeback with like all the youngsters, like all the college kids and kids of that age group. Like
Right.
you'll go to like a hardcore show here in town, let's say 5 years ago, it would be tens of people, maybe 12, 15, and now there's like, they have a hardcore festival here in town that packed out like 200 people in a small venue.
Yeah.
And just
I'm
like,
pretty doesn't South by Southwest go on down there too?
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's pretty corporatized these days now, so it doesn't have the charm it used to.
Right.
I've been here for about 16 years now. When I first moved here around 2006, it was still kind of had that charm of like a small town kind of festival where like it was a lot of local music and up and
Right.
coming. And now it's just like outrageously priced and very corporatized. We try to get out of town during that time.
Yeah, makes
Just
sense.
just being locals or try to play our own shows outside of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's definitely changed a bit. Um, but still the live music capital of the world. So there's not really a better place to be. Maybe besides Nashville. I know Nashville's blowing up right now,
Yeah.
especially in the
for
music scene.
sure.
And I've heard, it's funny because I mean, even EDM artists and country artists and rock stars like that I've had on here have all told me about Nashville just being just a hotbed. People just assume country, but now it's like everything.
Yeah, I'd like to get to Nashville. Sorry.
Yeah.
One day.
So you got no, I get it, man. I work, I'm a manager at a Costco and I work some stupid hours.
Oh yeah, dude.
So, I get it, man.
So you get like bands like free memberships and stuff like that? Is that what you're saying? For when they're on tour?
I get 3 memberships on my account. And,
Okay.
it depends on who I have assigned to it. But yeah,
Chernobyl the Secret is the next one.
there you go. Right on. It's a good company to work for. Let me put it out. If you guys have ever been into a Costco, it's pretty nice.
Sure.
But they're very strict on what they want. But it is what it is. So I was looking at your guys' social media accounts, and you guys have a decent following on TikTok and Instagram, and it looks like Spotify's decent, but a lot of the views that you got on YouTube are pretty impressive. I took a couple of screenshots, a couple of the music videos you guys did. I mean, 40,000 views in a month. I mean, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, that was a good one compared to some of our last releases. I haven't like cracked the code with Spotify yet. I think that in the past, we've had our Spotify up to like 25,000 monthly listeners, and that was like before COVID. Things change, obviously through all that, and when you struggle a little bit to stay relevant through something like that, that hurts for sure. But I think since then too, we have been releasing videos through our channel rather than like premiering it through like BBTV or something like that. And I feel like that was like a trial and error. It's all trial and error these days. So I think like premiering through those channels for a band on our level makes more sense and draws a little bit more traction over to stuff like Spotify. But at the same time, we are trying to like build our own YouTube fan base. So we definitely got some subscribers out of the whole thing. We ran 2 campaigns on that video and it did pretty well. TikTok too, I just like built that up in kind of like the last like year. it's kind of been like my little baby, and I like have just been testing it for a long time, and I think I sort of figured it out. And then working with, promoting things through their platform always helps too. But they're kind
Right.
of TikTok's being a little weird right now, and they won't let us like upload our song kind of for whatever reason, like select our song like in a video. We got like
Oh, seriously?
a copyright claim made against us, and haven't
Even
been
though
able
it's your music?
yeah, haven't been able to figure it out. So
It's weird, man. I mean, I gotta say, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I grew up before phones, and
same.
I hated it until I started podcasting, and then I was like, okay, obviously I need it, and
Yep.
then I built up a pretty decent. I'm guessing algorithm. I mean, you just kind of the more you're posting, the algorithm kind of helps. And then I took like 2 months off, and it just tanked.
Yep.
Just I was invested too much, and then I was like, I'm gonna step back and focus on my wife and kids, and then take a little break. But then I've been back for about 6 months, and I'm finally getting that traction back up there. But man, I mean, if you aren't consistent,
That's
I
the
mean,
thing.
those apps will drop you quick.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
That's the
I come
struggle.
from the days of like playing live. Like that's how
Mhm.
you get noticed. That's how you grind and make it big. And
Mhm.
learning social media and having to like have the will to continue to do that every day. It is a grind and a mindset, but once you kind of figure it out, it gets a little bit easier. But it
Mhm.
is hard to bounce back when you go stagnant for a month or two.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
No
it's
fun.
definitely challenging. I know probably most of us wouldn't even have much of a social media if we weren't in a band and it was so
Mhm.
necessary.
Right.
Maybe I'd maybe have Facebook just to like keep up with old friends, and that's probably it. But if we're not doing that and staying consistent, and it goes downhill pretty fast. You can lose your following a lot quicker than you can gain it. So
Yeah.
that's been the challenge, is just being consistent and just having content to just constantly be putting out, putting out.
Right.
But we're learning as we go, and we're trying to get better at that. But yeah,
Yeah. My biggest thing has been like when I do podcasts now, whenever I do an episode, I'm constantly thinking, okay, I got an hour of content. How many clips can I make out of this hour? And it's all about giving exposures to you guys and challenging myself to improve on making clips and content and stuff like that. So, and I imagine that's been the same for you guys. So, what's going on with you guys? Like what's coming up? I see you guys got a show there in Texas on the 29th.
yeah, we actually have one the 28th and the 29th. So this upcoming
Okay.
weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we kind of made a little weekend out of it. We had
Uh-huh.
that 29th show booked for quite some time, playing with a band called Neon Graves up in the Dallas Fort Worth
Oh, I
area.
know. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of 'em.
Yeah, they're super dope. And then we were like, well, let's just make a weekend out of it. So we picked up a show in San Antonio this coming Saturday, um, with some bands who I can't think of at the moment because all of their logos are hard to read. So
We're the lightest band on the
yeah,
bill. We're the only band that sings and screams, and everyone else is just screaming and then doing other
Yeah.
crazy noises.
Yeah.
but those shows tend to be some of the most fun because we
Right.
gain some fans that weren't necessarily there to see us. So
Yes. Mhm.
playing to our fans all the time is great, but it is fun to get in some of those rooms where no one's there to see us, and then we make some
Right.
fans. So
Mhm.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Other than that, we've got a couple songs loaded and ready to go that we just gotta strategically plan out and have
Right.
content ready for. So new music coming soon, sooner than you think. But
Right.
yeah, we're just grinding, trying to get through. I know the holiday season's coming up, so it slows down a little bit, but
Yeah.
be ready to go for 2024 for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Full steam
What do you
ahead.
guys? What's the band touring vehicle?
My
Currently,
truck right now.
yeah, it's Hunter's truck, so we're pretty regional at the moment. I
Right.
mean, his truck could take us anywhere we want to go, but we wouldn't want to sleep in it, and we wouldn't want to take it cross country.
Mhm.
We had some unfortunate events with our last van, broke down after about 85,000 miles on it, which was
Mhm.
didn't see that coming. That was kind of heartbreaking. It was actually on the way to a show. We ended
God
up making
damn.
the show still, but And then we kind of put off fixing it for a little bit, and we planned this whole tour, West Coast tour. And then we're like, all right, let's fix the van now. And then lo and behold, it was totaled basically.
Damn.
So we had to cancel
only
that tour.
85,000 miles.
Yeah.
It was a 97 though, so
Oh, okay. Well,
you know, it was kind of old, but
Yeah, it had some age on the chassis, but
yeah.
but yeah, it was just like a conversion van. There was 5 of us at the time. We ripped the back seats out and built some beds, so it was pretty comfortable.
Nice.
A lot cheaper than staying in a hotel every night. We're actually in the market for a van now. We've been flooding our group chats with potential vans.
Vans and buses.
Yeah.
Cody sent a bus yesterday that the inside of that thing, I was like, damn. Can you imagine, dude?
Like a full size bus
It
or
was
like a
like-
short bus?
Oh, it was
Like
like
a shuttle bus.
It was like a shuttle bus, like a
Nice.
25, 30 person shuttle bus, but it looked like a limo on the inside, kind of, but like
Yeah,
way
it was
like
kind of wild.
cool wavy seats and everything. It was tight.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, hopefully we get lucky in that and just kind of have money and someone trying to just get rid of something at the same time, which we've gotten lucky in the past with other vans where, you know, it's just someone trying to get rid of something and we had the money at the time. And yeah, so right now we're kind of stuck to just regional, which is kind of unfortunate, but we're working to get a van back and hopefully do some cross country stuff again, which is always fun.
Johnny, is this your first band?
No, technically from when I was playing like shitty punk music and metal music when I was a kid, because I didn't know what I was doing. I played in one band that didn't really do anything. Maybe like 5-6 years ago, we toured, but it was in someone's truck, and we hit like.
What are you saying? This is the shitty band? Come on!
No. We did like a little like southwest kind of run. We had no traction. We were just eagerly booking ourselves on a tour that was already set in, and we somehow got those dates to be kind of part of like Texas and the Texas dates and then the Arizona dates. We played 6 shows and then the band kind of fell apart. So we kind of got lucky with like algorithms and we kind of started doing stuff, shot some music videos, and then that little Texas South tour thing that we kind of hopped on, and then that was it. Like, but we did it in someone's truck on a whim, no direction, no idea what we were doing, and then just kind of stopped doing stuff, and then kept playing drumming for a long time, and then I stuck out and heard back from Hunter from years past of like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, you guys looking for a drummer kind of thing. So kind of got back in touch with them years later.
Right on, man.
So this will be my first time. If we get a van this upcoming year, which is 90% going to happen, I'm excited to actually hit the road and not be bunked up to someone that's, you know, we're just eating like peanut butter and jelly, like smashed in between us kind of thing. Or like,
there'll still be some of that.
There will do that, yeah.
It'll be my first time actually experiencing like a tour that isn't like something we're just like on a whim shooting for. And so this is going to be planned out. We have buddies in a really cool region that we're looking to tour with that are doing well. And I'm excited for all the stuff for the new year, man. Like, we have a bunch of cool stuff that's personally I've never been a part of with a band that's been this professional, this established, or anything like that. Like I said, the last band was kind of like writing music that sounded okay. We got lucky with an algorithm and kind of pushed content like kind of strategically, but not really. We didn't really know what we were doing. And then, yeah, this is my first band that knows what they're doing, from writing a song, demoing it, kind of structuring it, what we're doing, to making content, to how to feed the algorithm and things like that. So this is easily the most professional project I've ever been a part of, outside of like filling in for a random, you know, jazz or punk music or whatever. So
you play jazz flute?
But yeah, this is my first like established band, professional band, kind of as an adult. And like Cody was saying earlier, it fucking rules that we're all actually friends with all this stuff too, because that last band project thing that I was a part of, but kind of felt before it fell through, it wasn't really the case anymore. It was like, oh, that's James. He just plays guitar. I fucking hate him, but we're on the road, kind of thing. So like that's just kind of what it was. Versus now we're like goofing off 80% of the time. Whenever we're practicing, now we're at a point where we're playing shows and we're feeling comfortable with each other. We're able to like, I'm able to like throw a drumstick at CJ, like if it breaks, and then while we're practicing, and then kind of get back all together and doing stuff together. So,
right on. That's exciting. I mean, that just I mean, clearly you guys have that friendship vibe. I mean, you guys are on here bullshitting with each other, so that's good.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
We
are you guys
each other 99% of the time. So
no. Correction. 99% of the time, it's me. I'm the new guy. I'm the newbie, and they're like, "You have no idea what you're talking about. Shut up."
You
and I'm like,
"Don't see us roast each other." That's all.
Well, we've also had years of roasting.
Right.
Got to catch up,
Roasting is like it's so good, man. I mean, it definitely kind of helps you break that barrier with your friends too, man, because you can kind of feel them out.
Yeah, if I'm not making fun of you, I probably don't like you.
Yeah. If I'm held back at all, it's because I'm questioning who you are as a person. So, as far as the music goes and the videos, is there any kind of, have you guys had any issues or anything crazy happen during the production of any of your music videos that like you guys look back on and laugh at, but at the time was interfering with making the video?
I've only been a part of this most recent one, and that one went super smooth. Like I said, these guys take the most professional route with who they're working with, booking everything. There's not going to be an issue with anything. But as far as stuff before, they have so much. They have 10 years of music and content and promos and videos. So I'll let them answer that one.
We haven't really had too many like major setbacks or major things happen with like music video or any content. One thing we try to do is work with friends. That seems to help out a lot. So like our boy Nigel that we've done the last few music videos with, he's a really good friend of ours as well. And we're friends outside of business, and that helps a lot. He sees our vision, and he's not afraid to tell us like, hey, this idea sucks, or no, let's do it another way. He's a good friend of ours, so he's helped out a lot. There's been normal stuff that's gone through, like, oh, if you guys don't like this shot, we don't have to use it. And then the time comes and we're like, we don't like the shot, and they're like, oh, but we love the shot, we want to use it. And then like things change, just normal communication, stuff like that, but nothing too crazy.
I know.
Nothing that stands out too much.
I've had some bands tell me that when they're shooting and filming like outside, they have to like change the speed of their drumming or strumming the guitar to line it up with the actual song itself, and sometimes that can be difficult. So it's interesting to hear
in the last song, because like we did a slow-mo shot, and it's CJ on the vocals doing the slow-mo.
Right. So the idea
double time.
Yeah, we record it in double time so that when you slow the video down half by half, it lines up to the original track. So it looks like your mouth is moving in slow motion, but you're really on time. So that was actually pretty entertaining watching CJ do the vocals at double speed.
Like, see what I'm saying? Stuff like that, man. Stuff like that's interesting to hear because people don't know that.
Yeah, he did it pretty well on the fly. I think in our In Search of Solace music video, he got in some, like, we went to this creek nearby, so that's the one where he's like pounding in water and things. That creek was pretty gross and stagnant at that time, and he was just walking and falling over. Yeah, it was cold. He was walking and falling over and barefoot like in that, and then he was pulling out shards of glass like left and right, but he wasn't stepping on any of them. But I was like, dude, be careful. So yeah,
man. I mean, just it's you guys have quite a few videos out there too, so that's kind of why I asked that question, because there's a lot of those little details that make a very interesting story, especially for people who who don't think about it. So
Yeah.
there's a band called Salem Trials out of Canada that I've had on, and they did a video in a barn, and they used the syrup blood, and they were talking about having to shoot that over and over again for certain scenes, and just how sticky and like gross they felt the whole time.
Oh yeah.
So prop issues, stuff like that.
Yeah, outdoor shoots in Texas are pretty brutal, especially in the summer.
And I'm a big time sweater, so Cody is like, when we're doing like
personal towel boy.
Yeah, if it's like a solo shot of me and we're doing it over and over, he's my towel guy.
As far as the scenes go in a lot of this, is this just like a group selection as far as like what takes you want and don't want?
Kind of the last few music videos, we've kind of just trusted our videographer, Nigel, and with his vision. We kind of storyboarded a little bit and kind of let him know what vibe we're looking for and things of that nature, certain shots that we want to definitely see, and we kind of just let him run with it. And he's pretty good about finding our vision pretty quickly and very minimal edits. I don't think any of us are too super creative when it comes to that realm of it, of just like knowing, all right, this is exactly what I want to see. We're pretty open-minded and kind of just, go with the flow. But yeah, we don't have anybody in the band that's just like, well, I guess our last drummer, Dean, he helped with our release Toxic, and he kind of came up with kind of all the scenes and kind of the direction of that music video. So that's the only time we've really had like one person in the band be like, all right, I wrote this song. This is how I want, have it envisioned. It's kind of usually a collaborative thing, and we just kind of spitball and see what looks cool. Or even a day of shoots, we'll come up with new angles or, new scenes. We've been doing quite a few narrative style music videos, the last few, at least some narrative aspects to it. I really would like to get back to doing performance shots though too. Those are my favorite, when it's just us jamming.
Yeah. Have you guys thought about doing like a video shoot in an actual show, or do you have any of those?
We have done that kind of once. So yeah, our Mirage music video is like half at a studio and then half at a show. And that video actually means a lot to me because that was our first show back post-COVID, and everybody was hungry for live music. So that was a sold-out show that we played with Upon a Burning Body. And man, that show just, it popped off. The energy in there was pretty awesome.
Did you guys have to redo the same song over and over again?
No, that would be funny though. Just play a whole set of the same song.
Have you heard of the Browning?
Yeah,
I'm sure you've heard of the Browning. I went and saw them when actually some of the members lived here in Kansas City at one point, and I went and saw them for their shoot for the music video Ashamed, and they played that song 5 times in a row, and the whole crowd just the vibe of the crowd was like we loved it, but you could tell like it was just. The band was just at the end of it just done, man. They were so tired.
The 5th time, it's just the guy in the mosh pit just dying, just trying to wail and work hard for the music video.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of Kansas City,
take a lot out.
Go ahead.
Sure.
What do you know about LC's barbecue?
LC's barbecue isn't bad. There's so much of it here in town, man. So it's hard to kind of say which one's better or worse.
We've been there once, and that's where we went, and it was pretty memorable. Yeah, we have a small sample size because we've only been there once. Do you remember the breakfast spot that we stayed at?
Was that in Kansas with the cinnamon rolls?
Yeah, it's in Kansas City, or at least just outside of it.
I don't think. Oh, man, I thought that was the day that we had to get the axle replaced.
Was it not? Was it not in Kansas City?
I don't think so. That was in like Missouri or something.
I mean, Kansas City is in Missouri and Kansas.
Pretty close.
You got to remember, you got me thinking memories on like 2 to 3 hour sleep tour brain, and almost dying the night before. So yeah, I don't know. There was this breakfast spot that we went, and like instead of like chips and salsa as a reference, they just plopped down a whole dozen cinnamon rolls. And we were like, oh, like,
We're
hey,
looking around like, who ordered these?
yeah, we didn't order these. And they said, if your butt is in our seat, you're getting cinnamon roll.
Right.
And
That
then
rules.
yeah, it did.
did
We
roll.
found out we were in a band and on tour and stuff, and they really loved us. And they sent us off with like 3 or 4 dozen cinnamon rolls. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty.
You know, there's
cool.
something that we do is we make chili and cinnamon rolls, and you pour the chili on the cinnamon roll.
I've heard that. I'm gonna have to try that.
Excuse me?
Dang, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah, man.
That's
It's
a
something we do
thing?
here.
That's the thing,
yeah,
dude.
man.
Yeah, it's a
That
little
actually
sweet and
sounds
savory.
really good. That sounds really good.
It's
That's
good.
That's pretty
I mean,
American.
yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Ah,
it's definitely American. There's no pretty American. It's only American.
Yeah, that's just America, dude. That's that stick to your rib shit. That's that middle of the mall America right there.
Yeah,
Man. Yeah, Elsie's was good
Elsie's,
too.
yeah.
And like we just were hungry, and we just kind of like went and we were like, hey, we're here, let's get some barbecue. And I walked in and I was like, oh, this looks familiar. And I'm like 99% sure it was on Triple D.
100% it was.
Yeah.
And all those shows, all the
Yeah.
food shows. Yeah.
Probably
And-
diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was fire though, but we did go kind of late, so they were kind of like sold out of certain things. And
Yeah, barbecue here is like a dime a dozen, man. They're everywhere. So like you
Same.
really got to stand out. Yeah, I know Texas is pretty similar too. So
yeah,
Yeah,
I
different
think it's-
different style, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of it.
mhm. Do you guys like to barbecue like yourselves? Yeah.
That's
Yes.
all Hunter. Yep.
yeah, man.
Now I'm not talking Traeger. I'm talking charcoal. Actually.
Listen, hold on. Stop. Listen, I grew up, I'm a welder, dude. Like I grew up smoking meat the right
Yes.
way. Okay.
Right. Yes.
I was a barbecue competition judge. All right.
No
For the
shit.
City of Round Rock at their little festival that they do every year.
Uh-huh.
And so I know, but dude, I worked at a fab shop where we had like a $3,000 a month food budget and a full kitchen. It was 5 guys and they bought a Traeger and we cooked so much fucking shit on that Traeger. I fell in love with it, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I will
I'm not-
back Traeger. Well, hold on. I can't say I'll back Traeger all day, every day, because they did outsource their support and fired all of the American support. Literally during the holidays after they trained, they outsourced support. So I can't back them in that way. Once my Traeger breaks, I'm going to just fucking toss it. But
Yeah.
I stand by the way that those things cook, dude.
I'm not arguing that Traegers are bad. I'm arguing that it's not really barbecuing. Like it's just you set it, you throw some shit on there, and it just
Certain
kinda comes
things.
in.
You can't just set it like a rack of ribs on there and forget it. You'll fuck
Yeah.
up, you know. So
Right.
there is certain techniques. There's the reverse searing on the steaks and the this and the that and the ways that you have to place certain things in there and smoke it this way and do it this way. And there is more to it, but I got a Traeger for convenience and I love that thing, dude.
Yeah, man.
Traeger wings and Traeger burgers. Dude.
Hey, dude, the Traeger pizza that we made that one time. was
Oh
really
yeah, I
good.
did do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a night of either getting really high or really drunk.
Well, that's kind of all
Or
of our
both.
thing.
It could have been
It was
both.
during practice.
Yeah.
We jam Saturdays for like minimum 5-6 hours, and I don't mean like jamming straight. Like we run the set once, go take a break, do what we need to do, come back, run it again,
Mhm.
do social media, cook more food, get higher, whatever.
Right.
We'll
yeah,
run it a third if we need it, and call it good.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys said you guys practice like religiously on Saturdays?
Yep.
Minimum. We
Minimum.
all get together on Saturdays. Sometimes we miss if we have, personal things going on, but when we were really grinding before the pandemic, we were religiously Tuesdays and Thursdays every week, and we pretty much never missed. I mean, we practice, and it showed in our shows. We get a lot of compliments about being tight and a lot of chemistry together, and we're getting back to that point now with Johnny being in the band, and we're all gelling. But yeah, at minimum, we're together pretty much all day Saturday, pretty much every week. And if that doesn't happen, we'll mix in a weekday night there, or do a Sunday
you
practice.
mentioned it like showing in your performances, and that's huge. I've been to several concerts where I liked the band, and then I saw them live, and I was like, nah, that really wasn't that impressive. But
I hate that because I've been in those shoes too. So like, you always want to be the best you can be, and we do get a lot of compliments on like how tight we are.
Mhm.
So
we're also just like extremely hard on each other and ourselves in a positive way, to the point where it pushes us all to get to the next step. It's not necessarily pointing the finger.
Right.
Sometimes it is, because it's like, oh, you messed up, or oh, hey, it was pretty obvious right there. We're gonna run. Make sure you keep that in mind for the next time we run the set later.
Mhm.
But all the constructive criticism we bring to the table, everyone has an open mind with that. So it's a good way for us to, because we're spending, like we're saying, literally 5, 6, sometimes 7 hours on Saturday, and it's between 2 or 3 times running the set and doing social media or doing admin stuff on the band side with scheduling shows or whatever the case is. But we keep that mindset to try to be tight, because there's points where I'll mess up, Hunter messes up, and then it's constructive criticism all the way around.
Yeah. So, the other band members, I mean, do you guys all work? Are all your jobs pretty set schedules? Do they ever like mess with you guys meeting up and practicing? I mean,
Hunter and I are lucky enough to work for a company that has a thing called unlimited PTO, which sounds like a scam, but turns out it's not. We just, as long as we give them at least enough notice that we're going to be gone, we pretty much have a job when we get back, and we still get paid while we're gone, and that's been awesome. Johnny and I also worked in like the food service industry. I did for a decade. For most of the time that I was in Chernobyl Secret, I was in the food service industry, and was lucky enough to have a pretty flexible schedule. Didn't really have the paid time off the same that I do now, which has been a blessing. But just being able to take a week or 2 off and go tour with my band and come back and still have a job, it's been very helpful. And I think Johnny's kind of the same way now, because he's also in the food service industry, and it's a bit more flexible. But that's definitely a big part of it. It would be tough to do all this if I had a job where we couldn't have time off.
Yeah, like for what I do, it's no way I'd be able to have that kind of time.
Yeah. CJ's on, like, I don't know what to call him, so sorry if you're watching this and I botch it. He's on like some kind of like street teams for like cannabis industry, like like just smoking device
brand ambassador.
The brand ambassador for sure. That's what it is. So he gets to go periodically to like conventions in like Vegas and shit, and kind of man the booth and have fun. And then while he's here, he works at a place called Wizard Hat Smoke Shop. So I think he's got a pretty set schedule there, and he's got a good gig going with them.
That's good.
And they all know we're in bands too. Like everywhere we go, we're like, listen, you can hire me, but you gotta know this ain't the long run for us. Like it's music.
Yeah, we don't take vacations. We go on tour.
So.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, here in Austin, we have a lot of local businesses that support stuff like that, because it is such a big musical hub. To where it's almost second nature for a job to not necessarily expect that, but they'll have that in mind whenever they say, oh, I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer, I'm a musician. You're going to expect holes in that schedule at some point in time, just being the town it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some commitment to be in a band. I say some, but that's an understatement. So, especially for as much as you guys practice and whatnot. So, and then there's one other band member, right? Is it Brittany?
CJ, our vocalist.
So is it just it's just 4 of you?
Yep.
Yeah, we're a 4-piece.
Okay. Sounds good. That's got to be a change too, going from 5 to 4 to whatever. It's just all over the place.
The way I look at it, it's more room in the van for each person. More room on stage. The only downside is when we split stuff out of pocket, it's divided by 4 instead of 5 now. And like that's pretty much the only downside. Everything else has been a positive. for sure.
Yeah, I don't think people think about that, especially for like the touring band. The finances that you guys have to pull out of your own pocket just to do it. So like you guys probably rely on merch and stuff like that to really make any kind of profit at all.
Yeah, man, there was a point
Definitely.
when we were ripping enough shows that the band was pretty self-sustainable and we weren't coming out of pocket very much. And we're trying to get back to that point, but shit happens, and but we're filling up our schedule with shows, and I mean, every now and then you slang $1,500 or more in merch, and then you don't sell a single thing at
Yeah.
another show, and for whatever reason, it just works out that way sometimes. So
Yeah.
But yeah, when we were really grinding in 2016, I think we played over 30 shows in 52 weeks
Wow.
in a year. So we were playing quite a lot, and I think we only put money into merch the first time.
yeah.
So we put all our money together, bought some merch, and then it just paid for itself
Yeah.
moving forward.
I always feel like 30 shows in a year doesn't seem like a lot, but when you break it down into the weeks, it's like, no, you had a show every weekend.
Yeah.
Just
Much.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got I got 2 kids and my wife and work, and then I've got 2 podcasts, and then I produce and distribute several others, and to dedicate the time just to do this. I mean, this is just something I enjoy doing, but just to have the time and availability to do this is hard. So I get
It's
it.
awesome though that your wife is a supporter. That's like the big
Yeah.
thing here on our end too, is like, like we got to have somebody behind us supporting us throughout all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And do any of you have kids or anything like that, or no? Or just spouses?
No kids. Yeah. Significant others that are super, super supportive.
Mhm.
And
Dogs.
yep.
Oh
Just
yeah.
fur babies.
I have 4 dogs.
Hell yeah.
At one point we had 4 dogs, 3 cats, 7 ferrets, and that was a nightmare.
And
But
kids?
and kid. Well, of course the kids.
Yo.
The 7 ferrets was a lot of fun, man. I gotta say.
Holy cow.
Nice.
But yeah, no. So I appreciate you guys coming on here, and as we kind of wrap it up, I know you guys got a couple shows coming up, but what's like the the future plan with the show, as far as like obviously you're trying to get a van, and do some more touring. Have you decided on where you guys want to kind of branch out to as far as touring?
Can I say it?
Well,
I'll say
without going into too much detail, we have we have some stuff that we're trying to line up with some fellow management, with some another band that's on the same management company as us.
Mates, roster mates.
Right. So we're trying to get that. It's in the very early stages right now. It'll be like Midwest most likely, as far as regions go, but that's kind of what we're looking into. We can't really get into it too much because we don't really know yet, but it's like I said, it's really in the early stages. But yeah, we're looking to get full force in 2024 and put out as much music and travel and just do as much as we can and have fun while we're doing it.
What's the best place for people to keep up to date with you guys?
I'd say our Instagram. I feel like that's like our most actively engaged, and it's like probably our biggest platform. We're pretty active on it, and like it's got our link tree, it's got all that stuff. We did have a website. We got rid of that a little bit a while ago, and I want to build another one, but the link tree has like everything you need to know. So
yeah, I feel like websites are can be overrated when you have like a really active like Instagram or Facebook like that. I know for me, like reaching out to people like you guys, Instagram has been the biggest for me.
Especially if your website isn't mobile friendly. I mean, it's you're limiting yourself there because so many people are on their phones now. It seems to be Instagram, Facebook, probably the best way.
Yeah. This most recent release that we did, Disaster Piece, was kind of like a rebranding of the band kind of style, sound, image. Again, like we kept the name. I think we'd shoot ourselves in the foot right now if we try to change our name. So like as far as like how we're trying to branch out, we kind of like feel like we sort of took a small step back to kind of reestablish ourselves. So works out that we're here doing regional stuff and trying to just expand, just like a virus. We've done our West Coast and Midwest tours before, so we know we have some fans out there, but I definitely am very anxious to get to the East, both North and South.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, guys. Again, I really appreciate you coming on here today. And I want to do anything I can to help you guys out. So if there's ever anything you need me to, post on my stories or anything to help, promote stuff you got coming out, I'm always down to help.
Yeah.
I do want to throw this out there. My co-host Brofiki and I started something called a tour to you. It is a virtual tour, and we have artists from all kinds of genres that come on and do like 15-minute pre-recorded sets, and we donate to a good cause. The last one we donated like $300 to a nonprofit organization that helps people with mental disabilities find like help, and it's something that we want to continue to do. So if that's ever something that you guys would be interested in being a part of, just keep that in the back of your mind. We can stay in touch on that. And I appreciate you guys coming on again. And Johnny, Hunter, Cody, it's been nice meeting all you guys.
Likewise.
For sure.
Thank you for having us, man. Super nice to meet you.
Yeah, of course. And I'm gonna make clips from this show, and if this show is yours as well. So if there's anything you want from it, you're more than welcome to take it. Or if there's like a timestamp of the show that you think of you want, and you reach out to me, and I can do it for you. But yeah, if there's anything you guys need, just keep in touch. All right.
Sounds good, man.
Sounds
Yeah.
good, man. Thanks
Let us
again.
know about that pre-recorded set too. I'd love to do it.
Yeah. I'll keep you guys in mind.
6-7 hours with each other on Saturday, so maybe just run it on a Saturday,
Yeah, I mean, I've had, I've got people I got a guy in Greece that wants to be a part of it. I've got people in Russia that want to be a part of it. I mean, and then, like I said, there are all sorts of genres of music too. So it's all about just kind of giving you guys exposure and doing it for a good cause. Brett said awesome interview, so I appreciate that, man. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, everybody that's tuning in now or is going to tune in later, I appreciate you guys. If it wasn't for you, I'd still be doing this, but you guys help. So until next time, we'll see you all around.
Tight.
Appreciate it, man.